Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Deal. Sunday afternoon, the Texas A&M commitment sweatshirt comes back on, and this one fires me up if I'm a Texas A&M fan. Four-star quarterback Jayce Johnson committing to Texas A&M in the 2027 cycle. Now, the thing where you have to start with Jayce Johnson is, look, he's only a one-year starter at the high school rank so far. There are certainly some things that need to be cleaned up footwork-wise, mechanically-wise as a passer. The upside on this kid, there are not many quarterbacks, period, that offer the upside that Jayce Johnson offers. Now, why is that so important if you're a Texas A&M fan? Well, look at the other quarterbacks that Texas A&M has landed the last couple of cycles. Brady Hart. Hey, Michigan boys, we loved Brady Hart. You look at Hellman Kasuga in 2026, a guy that I like a lot. Both of those quarterbacks, I think, can be very, very good, but they are probably limited in terms of the upside that they possess. You're looking to expose yourself. You're looking to inject some monster upside at the quarterback position. That's what Texas A&M does with Jayce Johnson. And I would be remiss to not throw out I'll just say Lenore Sellers comp, right? This is the same way we talked about Lenore Sellers when he committed to South Carolina. Ain't sure when it's going to come together. Ain't sure if it's going to come together. But if it does come together, and when it does come together, this kid has the opportunity to be a difference maker. And the reason I throw out Lenore Sellers is Jayce Johnson's a big, big kid. I mean, 6'3", 210, going into his junior year of high school, has the frame to probably carry 230 and still be a dynamic athlete. You turn on the film and say, this dude's a difference maker. From an athleticism standpoint, I look at a guy like Marcel Reed, look, dynamic athlete, ain't arguing that. Probably never going to be over 205, right? You could eat burritos every single day, 15 burritos every single day. You just got a slender, narrow frame. Jayce Johnson's a big boy. He's going to be a big boy, and he is going to be a difference maker from an athleticism standpoint. The last thing I'll throw out there, and sorry, my intro is running long, Dale, I'm going to give you the T-box in a second, is this is not to say he can't throw the football. 67% completion percentage his sophomore year, first year starter. As much as there's some things to clean up, the arm's live. And you take a look at some of the sophomore year cut-ups and say some of those throws are difference-making throws. He has all the arm talent in the world, just needs to kind of figure it out and be a little bit more consistent. This kid offers massive upside. Texas A&M is looking for that monster upside. That's what excites me the most. Fired up to get into this one before we do, and as always, the Texas A&M fans, appreciate you guys, and it been a blast talking this program on the trail. Mike Elko, as much as we had question marks about Mike Elko coming to Texas A&M and recruiting, he has put those question marks to bed very, very quickly in his tenure. We've had a blast. The support's been amazing. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And Dill, without further ado, I will finally give you the T-box here. Jayce Johnson coming to Texas A&M. How are we feeling about
it? And I like the way that they've kind of organized their quarterback recruiting, let's say at Texas A&M, where you have your Miles O'Neills, like guys who have very high ceilings, probably somewhat lower floors, frankly, as well. And then you have guys like Hellman and Brady who, again, I think you have a high degree of confidence they'll be solid quarterbacks. And frankly, Texas A&M can win with solid quarterbacks. They don't need Lenora Sellers. Like a program like South Carolina, they probably needed Lenora Sellers to kind of kick them up a notch because they don't necessarily recruit at the level Texas A&M is right now.
I agree.
Texas A&M doesn't need it. So I think you look every year, you're looking out. They should be a very competitive football team. But look, like at the end of the day, if you have a real star at quarterback, if you have a Cam Newton or a Marcus Mariota or a Lenora Sellers, you give yourself a much better shot to be like a legit championship favorite. I think Jayce Johnson, if he kind of materializes, opens up that window where you look, Texas A&M is being talked about like what Ohio State was last year, where it looks like they should win a national championship.
Could not have said it better. Like that's the best way to phrase it. I think Texas A&M can win at a high level with Brady Hart, Hellman Kasuga, especially the way they're recruiting. But I think Jayce Johnson, like if he hits, he gonna hit and kind of kick what this offense can be up a notch. And here's the other thing that I might add is Texas A&M. And this is something I've talked about a lot with the Texas A&M fans. They're recruiting to the identity of football team they want to be. The biggest difference between Mike Elko's recruiting and Jimbo Fisher's recruiting is Jimbo Fisher's just throwing a bunch of blue chip talent at the wall and saying, I hope it sticks. I hope it comes together. I ain't got much plan besides just putting talent on my roster. Mike Elko's like, hey, we're going to recruit blue chip talent. We certainly going to do that. There's a plan. There's a very clear plan. We want to dominate the line of scrimmage. We're going to put a lot of resources into investing to get different kind of bodies in the line of scrimmage. We're going to run the football. Jayce Johnson, he's 6'3", 210 right now. Going to be 6'3", 230 plus. He is a guy that you can incorporate in the run game. And for a program like Mike Elko that has made it very, very clear that we want to run the football at a very high level, Jayce Johnson going to help you do that over the next couple of years in College Station. That's another thing I appreciate about this commitment for Texas A&M.
And again, I think that is like a good point of like what is going to be your identity. And frankly, not everybody needs to be a team that's going to be physical, play good defense, and run the ball. Like you can be an air raid, spread them out team, and that can work. I mean, there are teams that are winning with that method, but I think it's important to have a method. Like Lincoln Riley's won for a long time doing it the way he's done it, but that's not necessarily for everybody. But also Lincoln Riley's leaned into that. And you look, Mike Elko, he's going to lean into doing what he's doing. And again, I think that's like an important conversation because a lot of teams do get kind of stuck in limbo where it looks very different year to year and you're just a different style of team. I think when you are what you are, and Mike
look
Elko,
at Georgia or look at Alabama under Nick Saban. Like it maybe would look a little bit different with different personnel, but there was no question mark about like what you were going to get. Georgia, when they're winning natties, running the football, playing really, really good defense. When you looked at Alabama, playing really, really good defense and running the football. That's kind of what Mike Elko is trying to bring to Texas A&M is that kind of vision of what this program is going to be. But then you have to go recruit to that vision, and Texas A&M has done a great job of doing that. I think another great example is in the defensive backfield. Texas A&M saying, hey, we want just long, rangy dudes. If you are 6'1 plus and you got track and field times, we go and add you to a roster because that's the vision that we have. We want to be long, rangy, athletic. We'll make you good football players, but we want the good athletes. There's every time we get up here and talk about a Texas A&M commitment, I feel like we're saying the same thing. The last thing I love about Jayce Johnson here, I'll add two things to kind of close this out. Number one, he doesn't need it to be perfect for him to be a really good football player. And when things break down, this kid is a very good athlete getting outside the pocket. He's a bear to bring down. I mean, this is a guy that like edge defenders in the SEC will struggle to tackle, very similar to Lenore Sellers. He will beat you with his legs, no doubt, but he'll also keep his eyes down the field and throw off platform and make plays that way as well.
And teams have figured out that it is very hard to win if your quarterback has none of that. Like
totally
Quinn Ewers, I think, is like a perfect example. Like
Connor Wigman's a good example.
Probably beats Ohio State if they have a quarterback who can give them a little bit more. Because Texas was a really good team last year.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it. And again, I'm not saying you necessarily need it because like there's teams that like maybe like Georgia, they were just perfect enough around Stetson Bennett that it didn't matter. And Stetson Bennett, I don't know that he even gets the credit. Like he was a pretty solid athlete. So like I'm not trying to say he was like a bum or anything, but it really, I feel like there is that like dynamic quarterbacks who don't need their offensive line to be perfect in pass protection every snap they take. I think is like something that to me it's becoming kind of table stakes.
Look at even extrapolate that to the NFL. Like look, Josh Allen or Patty Mahomes or Joe Burrow. It's not like they're all Lamar Jacksons, but they're all good enough athletes to make their offensive line look good, make them better more often than not. That stuff matters, and that's what Jayce Johnson brings you. All right, last thing, and then we'll close this thing out. First commitment in the 2027 cycle, quarterback from the state of Georgia, a state that Texas A&M, they're doing a good job in Texas. They're also doing a great job in California. They're doing a great job in Georgia. If you had to pick two states to do a good job, and those would probably be the two states at the top of the list. Well, now that I have one of the best players in the state of Georgia at the quarterback position, carrying my flag in that state, it's going to be easier to win some of those recruiting battles in the state. Texas A&M has done a great job. Tristan Gibbons or Bryce Perry-Wright, Jordan Carter. I would expect them to do a very good job in 2027 as well in the state of Georgia.
I think it helps you like close on some of those real high profile names. It's like, because you even look like LSU was able to do it for Tristan Keys. The fact that they don't have a quarterback in the past two cycles, I think does feel like it's making it harder for them to close. Like Tristan Keys' recruitment is not shut down. A&M is still very much involved. Miami is still very much involved, and obviously Tennessee. So you look like I think he is looking keys that is like, well, do I have the guy to win with?
Yeah,
Because
these wide
quarterback is
receivers
very dependent, or a lot of people are dependent on the quarterback to make themselves look good.
These wide receivers want to know they're going to have quality quarterbacks throwing the football. That's a great point. And now you have a guy in Jay. You have just a good room in general. Like if you're a wide receiver looking at Texas A&M, you're saying, hey, I don't know who it's going to be, but I feel pretty dang confident that the quarterback play going to be dang good.
You're not going to get like that, like 2022 like LSU quarterback room where it's just like there were years that you just didn't even, it wasn't even close.
We'll close it out there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.